And we are back again. It's your friendly neighborhood film watchers. It's Frankly Football. I am your humble host, Brandon, and I got my man, Honey Grant, set it off, Chris, with me. Chris, we are days, a mere hours, a mere single night of sleep away from game one. A rematch, if you will, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Hmm.
Um,
Right.
Obviously both teams are, vastly different compared to how they were in the 2021 season, but we want to break down each combating position group to
Okay.
see how they will compete this year. And we're gonna start off with Dallas's offensive side of the ball versus
Hey,
Tampa's defense. So
mhm. Hey, listen. New year, new look, new season. Uh, both of these teams are drastically different. Like you said already, from the skill position players and things of that nature. But going into 2022, if you're going to line up on Sunday night at 8:30 and you look at the Dallas Cowboy offense, it's a night and day difference from the wide receiving position,
yes,
offensive line position, than it was last year. But the biggest question mark going into last year to this year was the health of your quarterback, Randy Dakota Prescott. And
absolutely.
he is a full year removed, a year and some change removed from his injury. So I think he's going to be firing on all cylinders. The people up front are different. So last year, you started off with Tyron Smith, Connor Williams, Tyler Biotish. You had Connor McGovern at at right guard, and you had Lyle Collins at right tackle.
Yes.
So, and yeah, that's exactly what you had. So now you're turning around. You're going to start with a totally different offensive line, and I think that's going to be the biggest question mark for the first half of the season. How does this offensive line that hasn't played a single solitary snap together gel and protect against a pretty decent interior defense and some dangerous parts from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. So the offensive line is my biggest question. How does Tyler Smith do in his first start? How does Connor McGovern play as a left guard, because he's outstanding in a right guard. He's serviceable. He's very serviceable at a right guard. But hey, you got the president, Zach Martin. How does Tyler Biotish get Cowboy Nation off his ass? That is the biggest thing. And the problem is he starts out against an absolute terror, one of the top five defensive tackles in football with Vita Vea. And
Yeah.
then how does Terrence Steele continue to build on his repertoire of being not just serviceable, but maybe a premier or a premier right tackle? That's the questions on the offensive line for me. What do you think about this wide receiver core?
It's definitely totally different from last year. Last season you had Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup
Mm,
coming into the season mostly healthy. Um, and willing to ball out, which Amari Cooper did. Went
right.
off for almost 140 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Two
This
touchdowns,
year,
9 catches. Yeah. Yep. Nine
absolutely.
catches, 140, and two tubs.
This year, Michael Gallup is still recovering, hopefully faster than expected
Right.
from his ACL. You have CD Lamb and the Pips. Um, so
Okay.
it's going to be
Okay.
Noah Brown. You're probably going to see a lot of Kavontae Turpin in his specialty sets that they may have set up for him.
Okay.
Jalen Tolbert, according to some insiders, may or may not be as impressive as they had hoped. So,
Okay.
we may or may not see as much of him. And then you have guys like Simi Fehoko. So it's a
Okay.
lot of guys who haven't seen a lot of play time compared to last year, where you were extremely confident in the position.
Um,
So there are plenty of question marks. There's a plethora of question marks
right. You
at that position.
yeah. In your wide receiver room, you're like you just said, brother. You have only one guy, or maybe two guys. Well, I don't even know. You know what, Noah Brown? You have two guys out of your four that you may be thinking about looking at that have NFL receptions. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's a scary situation. But I think what we're doing is we're laying all the burden on the wide receiving core to be productive. But most teams in the NFL, just follow me on this one, B.
Okay, do your
Most teams
thing.
in NFL, very few have wide receiver 1, 2, and 3 who are outstanding.
Mhm.
Most teams have an excellent quarterback. Ding! I have that. They have a very good tight end. Ding! I got that. And then they got a really good, serviceable running game. Ding, ding! I got all of that. So where my wide receiver room is lacking, okay, my tight end is top 5, okay, and we can say right now we will probably get the best of Dalton Schultz we have, and if we run out of 12 personnel, which we did the majority of the season starting last year, I
Yes.
think we able to balance some things out. I think we're able to get some people into this offense and incorporate it, like we said before, to try to alleviate the absence, not totally remove or replace, but alleviate the absence of Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup. Because, like you said, in that game last year, Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup were a problem. As you
Very
said,
important factors.
very important factors. Amari Cooper had 9 receptions, 140 touches, 140
13
yards.
receptions.
Oh, my bad.
He was targeted 17 times.
Good Lord.
Absolutely.
17 targets, 13 catches. How many yards, my brother?
139 with 2 of them tugs.
Yeah, right. And then you turn around and you look at Michael Gallup before he got hurt in that game. How many targets and receptions did he have?
6 receptions on 6 targets and had 45 yards. So both of them saw volume.
Right. So you're going to have to lead it. You've got to get other people in it. So that means you're going to have to maybe uptick Dalton Schultz's targets, which I don't want to do as much, but I can because it can alleviate to get Tony Pollard into the passing game, CeeDee Lamb, who we expect to be in the passing game. And I think going back to what you said about Jalen Tolbert, wouldn't we be a little upset if Simi Fehoko was not able to play this year?
I would be. I would be. And here's the thing. I would be more upset if Simi Fehoko were not able to play more so than I were if Jalen Tolbert weren't able to play.
Absolutely right. So I think what a lot of people in Cowboy Nation over the last couple of days, oh, he's a 3rd rounder, he's not playing, he's a bust. No. When we turned around and we had a rookie wide receiver who was a 3rd rounder a couple years ago, and we expected more of him than we should have. And by mid-season, we wouldn't trade it for Amari Cooper. That rookie 3rd rounder was Michael Gallup.
Absolutely.
So I think because of the speed, the play, the expectations, and because of the Cowboys getting rid of Amari Cooper, we expected Jalen Tolbert to come right on the scene as a 3rd rounder and be ready to go day one. And I'm not saying he's not going to be able to play this year. I just don't think this game, this juncture, Simi Fehoko deserves the opportunity to go ahead and play against some ones and be out here and make some plays.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely excited to see Simi Fehoko on the field because you can't coach genetics. 6'4", 220, 4.3 speed, 4.4 speed, whatever. That's big, fast, and I think that's going to be an issue. That's going to help us in this game against the Buccaneers as well as into the season.
Absolutely. So, and I think a guy who's absolutely earned his playing time has been Cavante Turpin. I think that he's earned the opportunity for specialized packages for him because, as I've preached before on some of our previous content, he goes against the entire philosophy of what they look for in a player. He is the smallest player on the entire team. Prior to that, it was James Washington at 5'11", 182, I think he is. But Cavante Turpin is 5'8" on a good day and weighs around 160 pounds. But his ability and honestly, the struggle that he's gone through to get to this point has validated his reason to get on that field. He deserves the chance to at least prove that he doesn't belong.
I think he's perfect for what Dallas wants. And we've gone back and forth with this. We don't know how much we want to win a Super Bowl, but we definitely want to entertain. And Cavante Turpin is the feel good, try hard story that the Cowboys always want to portray. Small, undersized guy having to bounce around, having a tough time to college, and then he gets his opportunity, he shines on the biggest stage. So I think the ability to have Turpin there in the return game is going to be huge. Maybe some different
Absolutely.
things to give you some looks in the offense is great. I think the guy who's really going to shine and really be so explosive on Sunday night, and it's going to be a problem, it's going to be Tony Pollard. I think this is Tony Pollard's coming out party. I think this is the part where people are going to say, wow, Dallas kind of finally figured this out. Zeke is going to be Zeke. Zeke is going to be a pounder. Zeke is going to be a chain mover. Zeke is going to be a difference maker. Tony Pollard is going to be your explosion. He's going to get a guy one-on-one. I mean, I love Levante David. I think he's amazing. Devin White, I think he's a great linebacker. Let me not toss around great. He's above average, okay, linebacker. Not saying
I will say that the combination of them are two great starting linebackers. That is
I'll
a
give you
great
that.
starting linebacker.
Right. Because people like to throw great around all the time. Because you're gonna get somewhere else, and oh, he's great. These two guys are affordable tandem to deal with. But
And then you add in Shaq Barrett. It's a great three set of linebackers.
Right. So I think that combination is going to be tough. But I definitely think with the use of Ezekiel Elliott, because regardless of what everybody think this guy's washed, he's not. I think Zeke is going to come out with a vengeance. I think Zeke's going to come out with the ability to show you guys that I am that guy. I'm not 2016 because none of us are the men we were 5-6 years ago.
Absolutely.
No matter how much you want to try to think that. But Zeke is going to play really well, and I think Tony Pollard is going to have a coming out party. But the X factor for our offense has got to be the trigger man, Rain Dakota Prescott.
Absolutely.
I think this is the opportunity for him to say, I'm in my 7th year. I'm a master at what I do. And I think he's going to have a really, really good game going against this defense and working with what he has. I just really believe so. I think this is his chance to put his stamp on this football team and say, hey, this is my team, and I'm going to carry him where I need to carry him.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you talked about, having to beat that Tampa defense, because I do want to talk about some guys who that the Dallas offense is going to be in opposition of. Obviously, they have some good players, good and above all throughout that front seven. They have Akeem Hicks and Vita Vea, on the line, excellent and interior linemen. I think that he may give Vita Vea may give Connor McGovern fits, but I'm thankful that we don't have COVID to keep Zach Martin down this year. That's excellent. Between Devin White, Levante David, and Shaq Barrett, excellent group of linebackers.
Absolutely.
I think that they are a great group of 3 starting linebackers. What can the Cowboys offense do to kind of beat that middle of the field presence that the 3 of them provide?
That's going to be your biggest thing. I think that's definitely going to be to the point with Dalton Schultz, but you got to have somebody who can threaten the seams. And I think that's where Tony's going to be a problem with threatening the seams. I think Simi, with his size, is going to be able to do some different things of that nature. That's the part of the field where you're going to have to fight it, because for the past couple of years, Tampa has been a top 5 run stopping defense. So that's where it's going to be with the improvement interior wise. That's why this is such a huge game for Tyler Biadasz, for Connor McGovern, and with the addition of Zach Martin. I think if they can not so much dominate, but make this to the point that they have gotten to the point where they're able to run the football and make situations where we're, if it's 1st and 10, let's say we make it second and 5. Let's say we make it 2nd and 6 and make it more manageable. And those 3rd down situations where they can continue to run the football 3rd and short, and if they can do that to beat the speed of White and David, I think that's going to be definitely something that's going to be huge for us. So being able to run the football effectively, okay, not to the point we got to run it 25 straight times, but be able to the point of run the ball effectively to keep it in manageable positions where Tampa can't just tee off on us. Because I think if they go 3rd, we go 3rd and long, then you're limited of who the guy you believe can get beat or who can beat man coverage and things of that nature. I believe CeeDee Lamb can beat man coverage. I think Simi Fioco has the ability to do it. We just haven't seen him do it yet. A lot of unknowns from the wide receiver core. So Dalton Schultz, Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, and even Zeke Elliott in the open field. That's gonna be huge for us.
Absolutely, I agree. And I think that the answer that I'm gonna give helps, alleviate the pressure from the linebacker core as well as the safeties. They do have Antoine Winfield.
Right.
Great safety, great young safety. I really do like him.
Yeah, I like him.
And then they have Dean, Jamel Dean.
See, when
Jamel
you
Dean.
Hey, listen, I
am not a fan of that team, so I would be hard pressed to remember guys' names off of the top of my head.
Hey, listen,
Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis. So
I give you that one.
Good corners. I'm not going to say great. Two serviceable corners.
Yeah.
But I think that Antoine Winfield as a safety, in the middle, great safety. So I think that a combination of 12 and 21 personnel, cycling through, getting the ball out of Dak's hands quickly, and working those sidelines and, short to mid range, is going to have the defense thinking twice before they either blitz, and then that is going to then take some of that pressure off of these unknown receivers, especially, hopefully CeeDee Lamb, and then especially younger, unproven guys like Fehoko, Turpin, and so on and so forth. So you have to get Zeke and Tony on the field at the same time. If Tony has to line up in the slot and do some motion, then do that. If Dalton and Ferguson or Hendershot, whoever they decide to play, has to be on the field at the same time and run a 12, then do that. But get the ball out of Dak's hands, work the seams, and work the sidelines to get the ball out of his hands quickly. That is going to get that Tampa defense thinking.
And I think that's huge what you're saying, but I also think that the moment that they can go, and that's going to be the biggest test, when they can turn around and say, hey, we're going to just set up, protect, and if this offensive line can hold up, if Tyler Smith comes out and shows you, hey, I'm okay, you chip, or if we don't have to chip, or if a guy releases, and I'm able to handle myself over here. Now, I'm not going to say it's not going to be times when he's not going to be in trouble, because that's totally unlikely to happen.
Yeah,
but the factor that we have not talked about, I think this offensive line will help out a lot. Here's my transition, though, and I made this tweet last year, late in the season, and he's been criticized for doing it because the last time we seen him do it, everybody criticized his decision making. I think running mobile rain is going to be a huge advantage for this team. Since when he got hurt in 2019, and then he came back, and he started doing, or not 19,
2020.
When he got hurt in 2020, when he got hurt, and then when he came back last year, nobody wanted to see him run, and he seemed reluctant to run. I think mobile rain is a problem for a lot of teams, and I think if he's able to do that, get out the pocket, get 5, 6, 7 yards, be that guy and be that threat, that gives linebackers a decision to have to think about, okay, do I step up or do I fall back? And that split second gives him the ability to be lethal as a passer as he moves. He loves to throw on the run. That is one of the things he does exceptionally well. So I think that'll be an added advantage that we have forgotten because we didn't see him do it so much last year.
Absolutely. Any last thoughts?
No, man. Listen. Do I think this defense and this offense is going to be that high flying 40 burger offense that we were looking for last year? Absolutely not. But I do think this offense can still generate 24 points in the NFL. And if my football team can generate 24 points in the NFL, I'm in 75% of the games I play because of the other unit we're going to talk about here shortly.
Absolutely. So if you've made it through this long, I think we've been about 19 minutes so far.
Oh,
I think that we deserve a like. We deserve that much. So smash that like button.
It is internet currency. It costs you nothing, but it helps us so much.
That's
it's free. So go ahead and drop a like on us.
That's right.
Yeah.
And while you're there, tap that subscribe button. Tap that little red subscribe button beside that like. So that way you can stay clued into more gems, more wisdom, more knowledge like this.
No doubt, no doubt.
That's
no
right.
doubt.
And we will be touching on the Dallas defense versus the Tampa Bay offense next. So stay tuned for that. But until then, I am Brandon, and that is my guy, my main man. Set it off, Chris. And together we are Frankly Football. Peace.
Peace.